What if everything you know about Sparta is only half the truth? Behind the legends, the heroes, and the movies, Sparta was far stranger, harsher, and more complex than most people realize. Today, we're diving into the real history, the stories that didn't fit into Hollywood. Sparta began not as a kingdom of warriors, but as 5 small villages in the region of Laconia. Their rise to power came from a single idea. Society exists for one purpose: to create perfect soldiers. Unlike Athens, which celebrated art and philosophy, Sparta eliminated everything that wasn't useful for war. Poetry faded, music disappeared, luxury was banned. But what's surprising is that Sparta was not isolated. They had diplomacy, alliances, and even hosted athletic festivals. The myth of a silent, closed Spartan society was created centuries later. The Sparta we know today is a mixture of truth and propaganda. The most famous part of Spartan life is the childhood system known as the agoge. At birth, elders inspected every newborn. If the baby looked strong, it lived. If not, it was rejected. At age 7, boys were taken from their families. Their childhood ended instantly. The agoge was brutal: cold nights, hunger, beatings, and constant training. They learned to fight, steal food, survive pain, and obey without hesitation. Their voices were trained to stay calm. Their minds were trained to resist fear. And friendships formed in the agoge were often deeper than family bonds. By age 12, many boys had already seen real battles. By age 20, they were full soldiers. But the most shocking part? They didn't return to live with their families until age 30. Sparta's army became legendary not because of numbers, but because of discipline. A Spartan soldier was expected to fight as part of a unit. They trained so precisely that their formations moved like a machine. Their famous red cloaks helped hide blood. Their long hair symbolized courage. And unlike the movies, Spartans rarely fought alone. They fought in professional phalanxes with hundreds of allies. One surprising fact: at its peak, Sparta had fewer citizens than a small town, but still controlled the largest military power in Greece. Their victories came not from size, but unbreakable unity. Spartan women were unlike any others in ancient Greece. They owned land, ran businesses, and received physical training. They spoke freely in public, something shocking to the rest of Greece. When a husband went to war, his wife told him, "Come back with your shield or on it." Women raised warriors, managed estates, and played a major role in politics. Many ancient writers claimed Spartan women were feared even more than the men. To outsiders, they seemed bold, loud, and unstoppable. Sparta's strength came not only from warriors, but from powerful women who kept society running. But Sparta had a darker side, one rarely shown in movies. Their society depended on the helots, an enslaved population forced to farm the land. There were 7 helots for every Spartan soldier. Every year, Sparta declared war on them, just to maintain control. Sparta also kept a secret unit called the Krypteia, young men who hunted rebellious helots at night. This hidden violence was the price of Sparta's power. Behind the order, discipline, and heroism stood a system built on fear. And many historians believe this is why Sparta eventually collapsed. A society designed only for war cannot survive forever. Much of what we think about Sparta comes from stories written centuries later. Myth: Spartans only fought. Reality: they had poets, athletes, and diplomats. Myth: they killed every weak baby. Reality: the truth is debated. Archaeology suggests the practice wasn't universal. Myth: they hated wealth. Reality: by 300 BC, Spartan elites were extremely rich. Myth: Sparta was unstoppable. Reality: once Thebes defeated them, their dominance ended forever. The real Sparta is far more complex, a mix of discipline, brutality, courage, fear, and myth-making. Sparta shaped some of history's toughest warriors, but also one of its most fragile societies. Their story reminds us that strength has many forms, and every legend has a deeper truth behind it. If you want more historical mini-documentaries like this, subscribe and tell me which culture to cover next.